So with the athlete, we know that they're going to be in their sport and they're going to need somebody there for whatever comes up. So you have someone like me who's the team doctor who they can bounce ideas off of. They have the athletic trainer managing the day-to-day situations. But there's, nutrition, like, well, are you getting enough calories? What are you eating? And so there's a nutritionist and dietitian that is part of the care team for the athlete. You have mental health professionals, right? So sports, which we don't really talk enough about, right, I guess in the public, but there's a big component of what drives the athlete to participate and how do they handle injury and return to sport, and that the sport is so much of their life. You have a major injury, boy, that's a big blow, right? So you got to have people on board like your mental health professionals, psychologists, psychiatrists. You have strength and conditioning coaches that work with the athletic trainer.
Yeah, I love how you talk about the health as well, because it's been ignored too long, the mental health of the athlete, how important that is. And it trickles down even in the very isolated field of sports cardiology, how mental health can impact a lot of what we see in the cardiology clinic. It's a multitude of different people that are heavily involved. It's really putting the athlete at the top of the pyramid. We're trying to advocate and support that athlete. We're doing everything we can. And when there are risks involved, they understand and they can think through that. One of the big, I think, misnomers out there, and we have to kill this narrative, is that athletes aren't able to make these decisions. They only think about playing sports, which frankly is really insulting, I think, and offensive to all athletes out there for somebody to think that you can't think for yourself. And we know that's completely false. And they can be very thoughtful about their own bodies and make these decisions, be part of those decisions. I think been a positive move throughout all of sports medicine. Last question, best question of the day. Top 3 favorite movies. I want you to go 3, 2, 1.
Oh my goodness. These are sports movies.
Yes, it's sports movies.
Okay. I mean, I grew up bowling. I love bowling. That's the one thing I've been doing since I was like 5 years old. So I think about Kingpin, classic comedy.
Nice.
It's a sports movie. It's bowling. Give me some ideas. Why am I blanking on?
I can't give you my 3. So.
Okay. I liked. It sounds a little cheesy. The Longest Yard.
Nice.
The old ones in the remake because of guys coming together.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of just the comedy of it and the sport being football and everything. And then probably my number 1, because it actually was filmed in my hometown when I was a kid, and they asked for extras to come to the stadium, was Major League. From Milwaukee, and people filled up the stadium, and that was a big deal back in whatever that was, late 80s. So I always love that movie. I'll watch it if it comes on anytime.
Well, this is perfect because I've got different ones, and you can clearly see I have too much time on my hands. So you got to put Miracle on there, the U.S. hockey team, and it's really just because of Kurt Russell, kind of the speech beforehand. It just gives you goosebumps sometimes I'll just fast forward just to watch that scene whenever he tells them about how they're going to take down the Russians that night. But number 3 for me is Bull Durham. It's just classic. Number 2 this is close between 2 and 1, but I'll put Rudy at 2.
Okay.
Similar cheesy, but just a great story, and it's a true story, And then number 1, Field of Dreams. I just the last scene where Costner sees his dad. I cry every single time. It just gets me every single time. So that's number 1. So those are mine.
See, I'm the comedy guy.
Yeah, that's right.
The funny ones. So those are good.